Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And the last couple of days we've been looking at the two epistles, the general epistle from St. Peter, as well as the epistle to the Hebrews. But I thought today let's take a look at the Old Testament lesson that is assigned for morning prayer. And that is from the book Exodus. We're up to chapter 16, verses 1 through 7, and there's a little bit of skip to verse 13 through 15. And of course, you're always welcome to read what is in the middle. Now, what we are reading during this Eastertide in the story from Exodus is about the time after the Passover, when the Jews themselves had been freed from slavery by God's most gracious favor, working through his great prophet Moses. The angel of death passed over the firstborn of the people of Israel, but destroyed the firstborn of the children of the Egyptians. And so Pharaoh's heart was softened just enough to get them to go. Then he eventually sends to chase after them to bring them back. We know the story about the parting of the Red Sea, and then Pharaoh and his host trying to follow behind, and ultimately the Red Sea closing in on them. Now that they're actually out there in the Sinai Peninsula, they're running into a problem. They need food and they need water, and they're not trusting in God's providence that God will provide for them. And instead, they start to grumble against Moses. So let me read to you what it has to say, and then we'll pick up from there. And they took their journey from Eliam to the congregation of the children of Israel and came into the wilderness of Sin, which was between Eliam and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month of their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to God we had died in the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to our full. For ye have brought us forth into the wilderness, to kill the whole assembly with hunger. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them, whether they will walk in my law or no. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, At even when ye shall know the Lord hath brought you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning then ye shall see the glory of the Lord, for that he heareth your murmurings against the Lord, and what ye are, we that we murmur against us. And in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, It is manna, for they wist not that it was what it was. And Moses said unto them, This is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. So, obviously, in doing this, we know that we are reading this with New Testament eyes, right? We read back into the story of the Old Testament about what God is going to do as a foretaste of what is coming in the New Testament. And so God, in fulfilling his purpose in Jesus Christ, has taken this important story for the people of the original covenant, for the people of the Jews, and moved it up one more level. And so we know when we see that God is providing for them, he wants to know about their faithfulness, right? He says you have to only pick up enough for one day's provision. You have to trust that every day God will provide his daily bread, right? Give us this day our daily bread, not tomorrow's bread, not bread for next week, but our daily bread. And we have to trust, the people of Israel had to trust especially, that God would provide every day. The exception, of course, being for the Sabbath day, right? You don't work on the Sabbath day, so you shouldn't be going out and gathering on the Sabbath day. And so God allows them to take 2 days' worth. A few people did try to take more than 1 day's worth on those other days, and we know that it made worms and it festered, and it was a sign of their disobedience. And so it is that we look forward now, right? Because we're looking backwards with our New Testament eyes at this particular reading, and we see it as the way in which God is providing for us as well in the daily bread of the Holy Eucharist, that God has provided us bread from heaven. Remember from John 6 chapter, we read about how Jesus says, I am the bread of life. That's what Jesus calls himself. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness, right, this manna, and they are dead. But whosoever shall eat this bread shall live forever. For the bread that I shall give is my flesh for the life of the world. And so we know under the species of the bread and wine in the Blessed Sacrament, we have the body and blood of Jesus Christ. And of course, unless we eat his flesh and drink his blood, we have no life in us. So, brothers and sisters, we too are called to trust for God, in God's provision, knowing that he will provide for us all the grace necessary. But we must be like the people of Israel. We must believe, we must be faithful, and we must go and get it. In other words, come on to church. Come receive the Blessed Sacrament, that bread from heaven that God is providing for us. It is Friday, and of course we're getting ready for our worship on Sunday, and we have our regular schedule still, 7:30 morning prayer, 8 o'clock Holy Communion, 10 o'clock Holy Communion, and then 5 p.m. evening prayer with the opportunity to receive Holy Communion. No need to sign up. We've got plenty of room in our spacious church building. So, God willing, we'll see you on Sunday, and have a fantastic Friday. God bless you.